Hello WorldLit students, this is Mrs. Ibarvia, and in this video I'm just going to walk you through the process of how to make a readathon poster like the one I showed you in class. So as you can see on the screen, this is an example of the kind of visual poster that you are going to make as part of our celebration of our independent reading for our readathon. You can see that the poster has three components. The first component, and probably the most important one, is this quotation that you're going to pull from each of the independent reading books that you are able to read over the readathon. There's a visual, of course, in the back, and then there's our QR code. Just one word about the quotation, which like I said, is probably the most important part. The purpose of the poster is to try to generate interest and invite someone to think about reading the book that you read, to also notice good writing and interesting writing and lively writing when we see it. So you want to really take some time to pick a quote that you think is going to stop a reader in their tracks, make them question a little bit, and even better, make them so interested in where this quote is from and what's going on here between the quote and the visual that they're going to want to scan this QR code that's here in the corner and, like it says here, and just read on. So this is going to be the final product, and I'll show you right now how to do that. So we're going to be using a program called Canva. So if you just go into your web browser and you just type in canva.com, it's like Canvas but without the S. If you go to canva.com, you'll be taken to this screen immediately. I already have an account, so that's why those fields are filled in, but I'm going to go ahead and sign up with a new account with an alternate email address that I have. Okay. And you're going to go ahead and put in an email here, whatever email that you use regularly. It can be your stoga.net email, but you might want to think about choosing your Gmail account or your Hotmail account or whatever other thing that you use. Make sure you include a password that you will remember easily, and then you can go ahead and click sign up. Once you click sign up, you can see they're preparing your fantastic design. The first thing that's going to happen is that they're actually going to walk you through a tutorial. And so here we are. This is the tutorial, and they have a little beginner's challenge for you. 23-second guide to a beautiful design in Canva. You can go ahead and take that 23 seconds just to see how it's done. And we're watching here, so they basically just show you how you can search for images. Like if you want to find an image of a lion, you can find that picture of a lion, and then go ahead and put that into your canvas. You can add some text. It's very easy. You can see that they've got these buttons here for whatever element you want to add to your canvas. And then of course here's where you just simply download it. And you can download it two ways. You can download it as a PNG, which is basically an image file, or you can download it as a PDF if you want to print it. Now here's the beginner's challenge. Like I told you, you can go ahead and do this if you want. You don't have to. I'm not going to do it now because I already know how to use Canva, so that's something for you to be able to do just to get acquainted with the different options that you have. All right, so we've signed up for our account. We're here, and what you want to do is since you're in the beginner's challenge right now, what you want to do is actually go back to the main page of Canva. So we'll go over here. I just clicked on that top left corner where it said Canva, and whenever you're in Canva, you're going to see that there are different options for you that you can choose. Here we have like social media, presentation, poster, Facebook cover, Facebook post. There's more of them, so that if you scrolled more, you could see that there's like different kinds of like documents that you could make, presentations, blog graphics, cards, ads. I have found that for our project that the best thing to use is actually presentation. So if you come down here to documents, click presentation, and then what that will do is it'll open up a new tab in your browser, and here you will have your blank Canva or your blank canvas. And so this is what you're going to fill with your quote, your visual, and your QR code. So where do we go from here? So if you want to think about building your visual from the ground up, so think of the background. So how to choose an image. Now, first let me tell you this. There are images that are available. So you can see here, you might think, oh, it's easy. I'll just search 1,000 or 1 million images, and I'll just put, a sunset. And then I'll click enter, and then it'll show me all these beautiful sunsets, which are great. They're lovely. But if you notice, Whenever you hover over any of these images, you'll see there's a little $sign that comes up because you have to pay $1 if you want to use these. And I don't think we want to pay $1 to use any of these images. When we can go to Google and we can find royalty-free images that are copyrighted for our purposes. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay. All right. One quick detour though. Before you go into Google Images and find your image for this background, you want to think about the quote that you're going to be using. So here's the quote that I am going to be using, and I'll make it a little bigger so you can see it. Here's the quote that I'm going to be using right here. It's funny how you can forget everything except people loving you. Maybe that's why humans find it so hard getting over love affairs. It's not the pain they're getting over, it's the love. This is actually a quote from a book called Jellicoe Road, which I think some of you did read. It's one of my favorite YA books. So when I look at this quote, I think to myself, what is the mood of this quote? What is the tone of this quote? Is it happy? Is it sad? When I read this, of course, this reminds me of a breakup, of loneliness, of sadness. So I'm not going to choose an image with like a happy face or like, a bright, shiny, happy day necessarily, because that doesn't really match the quote. So what you want to think about is, what image could I have in the background? What image could that be that could help accentuate or to help enhance the meaning of this quote so that you have an effective visual? So now I'm going to go into Google, and if you just go to google.com, and I'm going to do a Google image search. So you can click up here to images. So now I'm on a Google Images search. And now when I looked at my quote, like I said, this is a little sad. It's about endings and not necessarily beginnings. So when I think of endings, I think of the end of the day and I think of a sunset. So I'm just going to go ahead and just type in sunset. All right, so all of these pictures come up of sunsets, right? So they look great. Now, you have to pay attention to what you're able to use as far as copyright laws. And one way that you can make sure that you are actually allowed to use an image for for a project like this is to go under Search Tools. So if you click Search Tools, you'll see here that there is a drop-down menu called Usage Rights. You want to click that, and you want to choose right here, labeled for non-commercial reuse with modification. The reason I say modification is because you might find that you want to change it a little bit, like even if you want to change it from color to black and white in Canva, and I'll show you how to do that. You need to make sure that the image, that the artist who created the image is saying that you can modify their original work. So if you click that, what will end up happening is, as you can see, my search results, some of them are the same, but some of them are different because now I'm only looking at images that are labeled for non-commercial reuse with modification. That way I'm not going to get into trouble as far as breaking any copyright laws. You want to make sure that you always keep that in mind as far as anytime you're pulling an image from Google and you think it's harmless because it's for a school project. And while most of the time that's true, you want to get into the habit of making sure that you're obeying the fair use laws. So I look at all these images and I think, okay, so which one am I going to choose? So I'm going to choose maybe this one. Now, the other thing that I want to point out too when you're choosing an image is when you hover over any image in Google Images, you'll notice that these numbers pop up in the bottom left-hand corner. See, this one says 2789, this one says 2816, this is 2048. You want to make sure that you choose a large size image. If you choose something that's very small, when you go to make it a visual and let's say you stretch it, it's going to get all pixelated. So my general rule of thumb is to choose something that's close to 2000, if not more, pixels. Okay, so this is 2048 pixels, so I could choose this one. And in fact, I think I am going to choose this one. And I'll tell you another reason why I'm choosing this one. I'm choosing this one because if I were to take a look at the one on the left, do you see how the one on the left right here that I'm pointing at, this is a little bit busier with all these clouds. This one, the clouds are generally more uniform. There isn't so much contrast between light and dark. You want to keep that in mind when you're choosing an image for a background, because if your image is too busy, it's going to be harder for the text to stand out. In fact, a better image on this page that I'm looking at now might even be this one down here, because you can see there's a lot of negative space here at the top, so text would look really nice over this like sky. In fact, I think I'm going to choose this one. So once you click on the image, you want to go to View Image, and that will hopefully pull up the image file just like this. You can see that it's pretty big. You can go ahead and right click to save the image. You can save it right. I'm going to save mine to the desktop. And you can see that it downloaded right over there. So now I have the image saved to my desktop, and I've chosen an image that has some nice negative space to fit some text. And I've also chosen an image that I know, if I go back, has been licensed for non-commercial use. Let's go up here, non-commercial use with modification. Since we're doing this for school, this is obviously non-commercial. If I were going to sell whatever poster I made, because you know there is such a huge market for these Read-A-Thon posters, then I wouldn't be able to use this image because then it would become commercial. All right, so I've chosen my image. I'm here in Canva. So how do I get that image from here onto my canvas? I go to Uploads, and I can upload an image. I locate it on my desktop where I saved it. And where is it? Here it is. And then I open. And as you can see, it'll just pop up right here at the bottom in a second, hopefully. I don't see it coming. Let's see. Uploads. Upload image. Let me try that again. Let's see if that works. Okay. I wonder what's going on. Maybe the image is too big. Maybe. Let's see. Let's try it again. Here we have the image. And view image. Let me just try this real quick. Save as sunsets. There, you saved it again. Let's go back here, upload the image. Here we go. Okay, that's maybe some sort of glitch. So now you can see here it's there, and I just clicked on it, and now I can go ahead and pull it and drag it and make it a little bit bigger. You want to make sure that it fills the entire canvas so that you don't have any real white space. So I can, you know, make it centered, or however, like I think I like it over here because it's that sunset is just a little off center. And there we go. Now I have the image. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the text. The text is pretty easy. You just go back to book quotes here for my Google Doc. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste my text. To paste text, I just click the text icon over here. You can choose, depending on how big you want your initial text to be, just you can choose big text, middle, whatever it is. I just went ahead and chose that first one. You can always change it, and then I'm going to paste it. I don't like this font, so I'm going to make it something a little bit different. Maybe Anton. That's not too bad, but I don't like how it's black, so I'm going to change it to white. And it's a little too big, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So maybe something like that. So that doesn't look too bad, right? The other option, or the other thing that you can do with your image, is if you click on the image, I forgot to show you this earlier, is you can actually change the image a little bit. This is where you can modify it. You can see these different filters come up, just like you might have a filter on your phone app. So I can go epic, I can go festive, I can go grayscale, I can go rosy. You can make it anything like that. So I kind of like the colors of the epic, but I think it's a little too dark. I could make it a little lighter if I wanted to, or I think it's a little too contrasty, so I can adjust the contrast. So actually I think I like that one, maybe like that, something like that. All right, so I'm going to go with that. Still not loving this text, and I'm going to change the text. Let's see. Let's go with that maybe. No. Yeah, maybe like this. Maybe not. Let me pick one. Let's try one more. Maybe I will go with Nor'wester. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, well, in any case, you know this is basically how you can do it. Okay, choose the text. You can alternate as you like. Make sure that the text is easy to read. Put it here. Sometimes there are little markers to tell you if you're centered. So the little purple line came up. And there we go. Now you can see here that it's automatically saving. Okay, you can click saved just to make sure. Now you can describe it as well. You want to change the file name. So I know that this is a quote from Jellicoe Road. So I'm going to go ahead and name it Jellicoe Road, and then click done. And then I'm pretty much set now. I just need that QR code. So in the next video, I will show you how to do the QR code.